There are times and places, too, epiphanous moments, when life seems to shine with divine meaning or beauty or love, like that moment on top of the mountain with Jesus. We long to hold on to those moments, even as we feel them slipping away from us. That's the way I feel about the face of Jesus. That face which, as Paul said, in which we see God's glory shining, God's light shining light and life into the hurting, shadowed places of our hearts. According to New Testament historian Marcus Borg, the ancient language about one God in three persons, or personae, originally meant something quite different than our English language notion of persons as separate centers of personality. In both Greek and Latin, the word translated person meant a mask, such as that worn by an actor in the theater as a way of playing different roles. One person, different roles. In that sense, Borg said, for Christians, Jesus is the image of the invisible God, the face of God turned toward us. I'm not sure just when I caught a glimpse of that face for the first time. Was it as a child, reciting the 23rd Psalm with my mother? In high school, when I read the Gospels on my own, or at that youth group where I heard that Jesus was still calling us to be born anew. Maybe it was during one of Jack Samuel's sermons in a rural Lutheran church where mud daubers hovered over the congregation in the summertime. I'm not sure, but I am sure that once I had seen it, once I had seen that face, I could not forget it. Of course, I'm speaking of sight in a metaphorical sense here because I have not literally seen Jesus' human face. None of us have. Neither did Paul, as far as we know. Most of us have images of Jesus in our mind, usually images from paintings and Bible illustrations of a gentle white man of European descent who looks angelic or troubled, or more recently, a strong Americanized Jesus who laughs a lot. But those images have nothing to do with the flesh and blood Middle Eastern Jew who lived so long ago, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. There are no paintings of that face, unless you count the Shroud of Turin, which I have to admit is pretty cool, even though we don't know if it's a real thing or not. Then there are those who see Jesus everywhere, on a frying pan, in a car window, or on a piece of bread. One woman supposedly found an image of Jesus on a sandwich and sold it for $10,000. I've got to start looking. Someone else found the face of Jesus on a banana peel, but just took a photo and ate the banana, lost the profit opportunity. Apparently some people can spot Jesus all over the place. Not me. I've been searching for that elusive face a long time, but have caught only momentary glimpses of it, like those moments when you think you see someone you know in a crowd, but when you look, they're gone. Still, when you read the Gospels, distant and dim as that ancient image is after all these years, you can almost see him. Not his face. That's always hidden in the distance or screened out by the crowd of listeners in front of him on that hill, or it's hidden because Jesus is looking away from you, facing his critics, leaning over someone in need of healing, or just bent down in prayer. So it's not his face you see in the Gospels, but it is something powerful and compelling. A glimpse of his heart, perhaps. A heart brimming with love and with God, which is really about the same thing. Listen, it reads, Jesus came to Galilee preaching the good news of God. Jesus went out again beside the sea, and the whole crowd gathered around him, and he taught them. They were astounded at his teaching, for he taught them as one who had authority. In the evening, they brought to him all who were sick or possessed, and the whole city gathered around the door. In the morning, he went out to a deserted place, and there he prayed. A leper came to him, begging him, "If you choose, you can make me clean." Moved with pity, Jesus stretched out his hand and touched the leper and said, "I do choose." Then when Jesus was seeking solitude, a great crowd followed him and gathered around him. Seeing them, he had compassion on them, it reads, for they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. it's not his face you see in the Gospels, but it is something powerful.